Hello again, this is Jeff Scott, your instructor for the online version of 152-163 Relational Database Design for the fall 2015 semester at Black Hawk Technical College. We've finished Chapter 1. I've assigned on pages 69 and 70 creating the tennis logos database. And although this is the only chapter I will do this in, I'm going to go through the 12 steps that you're supposed to do. So the 5 here and the 7 there. So I'm going to go through all of this right now. So the first thing we're asked to do is to use the blank database option and create a new database. Again, I'm asking when you create a database or a table or a field name, do not use any blank spaces, please. So, File, Blank Desktop Database, and they want you to call it lab space 2 space tennis space logos. Although that would work, I'm going to remove all of the blank spaces in here. I know that's a little uglier to look at, get used to it. And I'm going to save that right onto my virtual desktop. That is step 1. Step 2, import the Lab 1-2 Supplier Data Excel workbook into the database and call it Supplier. So I'm going to click External Data, Excel, and I've got to go here now. I've got to find out where the heck I saved this as. So sorry, I'm following the Brewer game here. So I brought over, thought that I brought that over here. Okay, well, I'm going to have to do this. I apologize. I saved it. I must have saved it on, again, onto the non-virtual desktop drive, so that's on me. Okay, that should be saved right now. Student data files. And I will make sure that those are available for you as well. Extract all, right there. There they are, right here. And we want from Chapter 1, we're going to want Lab 1-2 Supplier Data and Lab 1-2 Item Data, those 2 files. All right, so I'm going to come back into here. External data, Excel, all this stuff, student data files, Chapter 1, the first one we want again is the supplier data. Alright, so we want to bring that into a new table, click OK. The first row does contain headings, there they are, so click Next. We're not going to change anything in here, so click Next again. Supplier code is the primary key, it says here. First row contains a column heading, supplier code is the primary key. So we have to choose my own primary key, supplier code. There we go. Alright, next we want to put it to the table. We want to call the table supplier. Oops, supplier. We don't need the wizard for anything. We also don't need to save our import steps. So there it is, supplier. We don't need this table 1, so I'm going to right mouse click and choose delete. It says you can't delete it while it's open. Okay, then let's close it. And now it's gone. All right, so there's the first one. We just put that in. Again, if I take my mouse till it becomes a crosshair, then double click. That'll make the columns wide enough so that you're able to see everything. So I've done step 1, I've done step 2. Open the supplier table in Datasheet View. All right, I like to open it up in Design View. So it says change the field size for the supplier code to 2. The field size for the supplier name to 30. And the field size for the telephone number to 12. So that is everything for step 3. All right, I'm going to right mouse click and choose Save. Some data may be lost, again, because we made the fields shorter in size. Yes, that's okay. And if we do look at it, again, in Datasheet View, it looks the same as it did. Okay, so let's close that. Let's again go over to External Data, Excel. All right, we want to browse in here, and the other one we want is the Item Data Excel workbook right there. The first row contains column headings, so that's good. The item number is the primary key. Okay. Assign the name item to the table instead of item data. Item. All right, so again, I'm on step 4. Save the import steps. We're told to save them this time. And we're told to give the name import item data to the steps without any description. Okay, so I'm saving the import. All right, that's the first 4 steps. Now I'm on step 5. So here's the item table. Again, I like to always come in right away and double click so I can see all of my data that's in here. You may or may not agree, and do whatever suits you. All right. So that's the first 4 steps in the beginning of step 5. Now I'm going to go into design mode, or design view I should say. Change the size of the item number to 4. Change the field size for the description to 30. Add a caption, wholesale, for the wholesale price field. The on-hand field should be an integer, which means that instead of here it's got field size double, we'll make that an integer. Be sure that the field size for the supplier code in the item table is identical to the supplier code in the supplier table. Alright, so I have to open up the other one to see that, so let's save what we've worked on. And then some data may be lost, that's okay. And let's close this. Let's open up Supplier in Design View. And the supplier code is of size 2. Alright, so we can close that. And the supplier code here should also be of size 2. That's what we're going to use to relate the tables to one another. Save the changes and close the table. So that's the first 5 steps. Step 6, open the item table in Datasheet View. I guess I was just there. Resize the column to best fit. I've already done that. Save the changes to the layout and close the table. Okay, so I've already done all that. Sorry. Step 7, create a query for the item table. So there's item. Let's create. Go to Query Wizard. Simple Query Wizard, item table. Include the item number, the description, the wholesale price, the base cost and the supplier code. So everything except on hand. And save this as item query. Since they don't say anything up here, use the detail. Always use the default when you're not told. So we're supposed to save this as item query, but again with no blank space. There it is. All right, create a simple form for the item table. Use the name item for the form. All right, so let's close this. Let's come in under create with items selected here and go to form. All right, that's the simple form. Let's right mouse click. You can save it. Since they tell you to save it as just item, that's okay, but I'm going to call mine form. I like to always put a suffix on the end that has what it is I'm working with. So that is step 8. Create the report shown in figure 1-88 that's on the bottom part of page 70. So we can close this. And with items still chosen here, I'm going to create and I'm going over to report. So we want item number, description, on hand, and wholesale price. All right, so we don't need base cost, so I'm right mouse clicking on there and saying delete column. We don't need supplier code, so I'm right mouse clicking and I'm choosing delete column. We want item number. Oh, doggone it, I did it again where I accidentally first removed. Doggone. So I'm just going to remove this. Close. No, it doesn't matter. So go back to create, report, there we go. And we don't need the supplier code. We don't need the base cost. We do want the wholesale price. We do want the on hand. We want the description. We want the item number. It looks like for wholesale that's supposed to be wholesale price. So the word wholesale, get to the end, do a control enter and type in price. All right, there we go. As far as I can tell, that looks the way that they say that it should look in step 9. Do not add any totals. Save it as inventory status report. So I want to change the word item here, and I want this to say inventory status report. Okay, and I'm going to right mouse click and save, and I'm going to save it as inventory, no blank spaces, status report. If requested to do so by the instructor, change the telephone number. No, you don't have to do that. Submit the database in the format specified by your instructor. So I want you to save all of this. You're going to recreate what I just did. This part I'm not going to save. The exercises that I've done, I'm not going to save. You have to do those. I just showed you what I'm looking for. Step 12, if you had designed this database, could you have used the field name for the supplier name? Why or why not? So let's do a couple things here. All right, let's close this. I goofed up I'm going to do a rename on this because I've got the N capitalized. All right, so I'm going to supplier here. And the author said right there, could you have used the word name for the supplier name? The answer is technically yes, you could have. All right. Sometimes people like, since this is a supplier table, they like to put supplier in front of everything. So supplier code, supplier name, supplier telephone number. All right. But in this case, technically, yes, you could have. So that's what I'm looking for chapter 1. What I'm going to do ideally tomorrow is I'm going to start on chapter 2. I'm going into Blackhawk in order to do that. And in an ideal world, I'm going to get 2 and 3 done tomorrow. 4 and 5 done on Thursday, and 6 and 7 done on Friday. If that happens, and I'm not saying it will, but if it happens, I will try to get all of this information out there by no later than Monday the 17th, so you'll know exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing, and I will also make sure that I send an email to you explaining all this. Thanks, and see you soon.